Welcome, Sam and Erica.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, thank you for having us.
So glad to have you. Yeah, I actually ended up randomly on YouTube finding your videos, and I'm a little bit addicted to them now. When I'm tired at the end of the day, I watch them and I have a good laugh.
So they're entertaining, actually.
Yeah, I watch them for the entertainment, but I think it's also allowing me to improve my English.
Oh, really?
There's a few
That's
things.
saying something because you speak really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, there's definitely some mistakes that I make, and that I know that some of your content is for advanced English learners as well. So I mean, it's fun and educational. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Do you remember how you found our channel?
Maybe typing ESL videos in YouTube, maybe.
Okay, so it's searching.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I would love to for you to introduce yourself to the community.
For sure.
Great. Well, I'm Sam.
And I'm Erica.
And our brand, or brand is the right word, is called Breathe English. So our primary focus right now is our YouTube channel, where, as Xavier was mentioning, we make videos with the intent of teaching English.
Yes, and we try to make them entertaining.
We do.
It sounds like sometimes we succeed. Yeah.
Sometimes.
And what else do we do, Erica?
What else do we do? We are also creating online courses. So we just finished our first course, and it is for people wanting to get a job, but they need to speak English for their job. And then we're both teachers. So we actually just both finished classes just now with different students. So we're kind of like scrambling to get here on time. So yeah, we have years of experience teaching all different ages of English learners mostly.
Nice. And I know you have something prepared for us, and I'm excited to see it. But you know our community, we have a lot of teachers. Most of them work with young kids. So if you and many of them struggle to sometimes find the right content to engage the students, etc. So if you have any advice for the community on that front, it would be valuable for everybody.
Great. And I don't have like advice like right off the top of my head right now. I answer that by saying I would love to hear about those challenges from people. I teach young students, I teach young kids, but I do it in person, and I know it's just another ball game. So I think that Koala Go is doing so much to address the concerns of teachers who are teaching kids online, but I would just love to hear if any. I don't know if this format, if people can sort of raise their hand or chat or chime in.
Yeah. And so I don't know if you're watching us on Zoom or watching us on Facebook, feel free to post in the comments. And if that's okay with you, if there's comments as you are presenting, I can interrupt you and read those comments to you.
Please, yeah, and because part of our idea is to have it be a little bit more of a conversation, and ask people what they're doing now, and then sort of provide our ideas and have it be more of a back and forth. Should we dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
into it. So we have a little presentation, and the theme is teaching with videos. So not everyone teaches with videos. I certainly have, and it's actually the reason I started the channel before I even met Sam, because I used videos in my classes, and there's always, several videos I wish existed out there, but they didn't. And then, I thought for a while, like, oh, I could do that. Like, I could have a YouTube channel and I would make these videos. But I never had time because it's a lot to learn how to do it. And then, of course, during the pandemic, I suddenly had time. So, and it's really fun to learn how, and hopefully, I'm always trying to make them better, make the next one better than the last one. But yeah, just the whole time trying to use my own teaching experience, trying to put myself in the shoes of my students, which I think you have to do as a teacher all the time. And also putting myself in the shoes of other teachers, and asking, you know, what would I want as a teacher, and what do I want as a teacher, as content out there in the form of videos.
Okay, okay.
I think we're trying to
Sorry,
share our
and
screen.
I see Sam. So I think there's a way for you to share sound.
Oh, cool. Lisa says, I would love to get ideas on how you use the videos to teach. Fantastic, Lisa. That's
Glad you're here.
what we're here for. All right, so we are going to walk you through using videos in teaching. Hey there, colleague.
We got to talk about who we are.
Yeah, we did. But this is just sort of the roadmap of what we want to do. So talk about who we are, talk about our videos, and as we talk about our videos, we're going to start interweaving our teaching ideas. Yeah, that's the game plan. Right. So as Erica was explaining, she's been teaching in various institutions. She started this channel during the pandemic in 2020. I came to teaching a little bit later as an assistant in Spanish public schools. So my training was in a foreign classroom where they're teaching English to kids. And we both have like a very creative side. We both love music and acting and being very goofy. So that is what drives us as well.
All right. So who are our videos for? They're primarily for English learners, and I would say all different levels. So the advanced, the beginners, everything in between. We also have some videos for teachers. So we've got a few talking about different techniques for tutoring online, how to lesson plan, how to just maybe about resources you can find online for teaching. And we'd love to make more of those videos for teachers, but still most of our content is for the learners, which a lot of times I think teachers find our videos and, play them for their students.
So that's common to have teachers play your videos during class time?
Yeah. My mom is actually an ESL teacher in an elementary school in Washington State. And she's a little biased. So she definitely does play the videos because I'm her pride and joy. But yeah, she plays them for kids and they watch and there's a lot of idioms and maybe language that ESL or kids that aren't hearing language at home, maybe they're not hearing as much. So
yeah. And even kids, even my nieces and nephew as native English speakers, they watch them and they're still learning English because they're kids.
Sure.
So, but they just think they're fun. And of course I'm in them and sometimes they're in them. But yeah, I think no matter who you are, you're probably still going to learn something from them.
Something for everyone. So we do have teachers using our videos and that's something we want more of. Like that's why we want to give these ideas because they are really useful tools.
This video is about how I plan online lessons. I mostly teach adults online at the moment, English learners. So this is kind of a beginning to end, like how do you start with a new teacher, which I think is this clip.
New student,
thank you. So doing a little language assessment and moving on from there, how do you plan each lesson? And I made this one because I used to be a volunteer coordinator for like almost 200 English tutors who a lot of them had never taught before. And there wasn't a video out there that was just like, this is how you can tutor, this is how you can lesson plan for like an adult student. But yeah, this is just an example of one of our videos aimed at teachers.
Yeah, for teachers. She also has a great one about like a day in the life of an ESL teacher. And she really goes into like depth about what it is, like what is the profession. So a lot of people have commented like, oh, I'm contemplating this career path. I'm so glad I watched this video. Okay, so that's our sort of specifically for teachers, made by teachers for teachers. And now we're going to get into more of our language learners. So we have a lot of videos that are very beginner friendly. What I mean by that is they use vocabulary in context. It's sort of simplified grammar. simplified vocabulary, just like the need to know stuff, like, you know, using the verb to be, the elements of a house, you know, a lot of very concrete examples. So when you have people sort of just starting to use these vocabulary words or just starting to sort of, you know, use these verbs, it's good to keep it really simple and give lots of examples, right? So one of our videos that we, oh, wait, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I wanted to ask, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm not.
What is fourth thinking?
Can you hear it?
Erica is playing piano in
You
the
can read
living
it.
room. If we don't know what Erica is doing, we
Perfect.
could replace her
I can hear it.
activity with what Erica is playing.
So this is I'm actually really proud of this video because a lot of beginners have trouble constructing questions, sentences, right? And because the words switch around, and where do I put the verb and the you know, when do I use do, when don't I use do? So this video like breaks it down, and I've thought of, since I've taught this so many times to like Spanish school children, I have some tricks of like, okay, first think of the sentence as a like just a statement, and now we're going to change into a question. So this video really breaks down how to construct those sentences. And here it's talking about how to construct a sentence with what and when to use those sentences.
What is fourth thinking? Erica is playing piano in the living room. If we don't know what Erica is doing, we could replace her activity with what? Erica is playing what in the living room?
But this gets shifted around because we like to have the question word come first.
What is Erica playing in the living room?
Very good.
I think I'm getting it. What is this playing?
Okay, so that's just a snippet of that video. And so now moving forward, we kind of wanted to open the floor. Are any of you using videos currently in your classes? How do you use them? Tell us, please.
Or if you have questions about using them. But yeah, how do you use them
Yeah.
already?
Yeah, I'm going to check on Facebook and Zoom. And in the meantime, it's true that in Koala Go, you know, we have this co-browser, which is really perfectly suited for this kind of use case to play videos, and the sound will be shared on both ends. And once again, I'm so sorry, Zoom decided to disable this feature. Yeah, this is a really good, a really smart way to get your kids enjoy and to do something different for once during your live classes. And I see Lisa. Oh yeah, I see Lisa just sent a message. She says, "I'm not using them on a regular basis. I have only used them a few times."
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, I think sometimes it's a challenge knowing where to look for them or finding like channels you like on YouTube, and certainly finding the right level. I've definitely struggled, especially with beginners. I mean, all levels, but just finding something that's the right level.
Yeah, and the right tone.
The right
as well.
tone and appropriate, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so you know,
Sorry to interrupt, but your video content, so would you say they're mostly suited for advanced students or beginner students? If we just browse your YouTube channel in general.
Like intermediate. I mean, most of them are assuming people have a base of English.
Yeah.
But we have definitely veered from that and tried more beginner ones.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing the feedback from all the different levels. But one we did recently that's really popular is on directions, which is definitely for beginners.
giving directions, telling people how to get somewhere.
Nice.
So as Erica says, I think our videos would be very challenging for someone who knew nothing.
For sure.
But if you know something, even if you're in a very beginner class, we have a lot of videos that are targeted towards the vocabulary that you will be learning in that class. But what's nice about our videos is it gives you more context, and it gives you the words around those words that you're learning.
Yeah.
Because when I started learning Spanish, for example, I knew like a lot of nouns, like I knew objects, but I didn't know how to use them in a sentence. So I feel like seeing those words being used is kind of the missing piece.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And for me,
Yeah,
it really fills a gap that you of English knowledge that you don't get in an academic setting. There's a lot of idioms that you never learn, and especially to learn American English, you never learn this at school. You never learn this in traditional educational curriculums. And you arrive in the US, maybe like to study or for your first job, etc., which was my case, and you're lost with a lot of those expressions. And watching those videos is a really great way to smoothen that transition.
yeah,
Yeah.
we hope so.
Yeah, that's our goal. Okay, so going back to how can we use these videos? Okay, we have some ideas. So it can kind of be used before, during, or after, right? A teaching objective. Do you want to walk us through these?
Yeah. So you can use the videos, and I have our videos and other people's videos to initially teach a grammar point or vocabulary. So this would be starting with the video. And so sometimes, I find a video, like I could stand up there at a whiteboard and write out the grammar and give examples, yada, yada, yada. But a lot of times someone has made a video that's better than me doing that, and it's easier for me. Or sometimes it's my video and I throw up there and I'm like, wow, it's a great video. It's a great explanation. And then you can do some activity after that to practice the new material. Another way is to get students to speak. So they could describe a wordless video. I've done this with Mr. Bean videos, which is so fun because they're hilarious and there's hardly any language. So it's a great opportunity for them. They can get with a partner and try to like describe what's happening, or you can kind of pause the video and have a conversation like what's happening. You can describe the reaction to a video clip. So this you could do with any video, not necessarily educational, but I've done this with like the Big Bang Theory, just show like a minute, things are happening, and then you pause it, maybe you ask a question or ask for their reaction. And then providing listening practice following a lesson. I think our videos are great for this. So we don't have as many like the first one, like teaching a grammar point, like this is how this grammar works.
Yeah, maybe besides the questions, or maybe
we do have some
vocabulary in the house.
But there's just so many of those videos that already exist and they're really great. So we more try to provide like more comprehensible input. So if someone watches a grammar video, like this is how this works, they're not like, oh, I got it, I can use it, great. They need more input, they need more examples. And it's usually like seeing more examples, seeing it in context where they have that like, oh, they have the aha moment, like I see how it works, right? But they need the repetition, they need to see it in lots of different contexts. So I think our videos do that a lot.
Yeah, and that listening practice, you can play. So if you've introduced a concept or vocab, you play one of our videos or any video, really, and then you follow it up with true or false questions, followed up with, a list of people can write down vocabulary that they heard in the video, fill in the blanks. Like there's just a lot of sort of standard practices, but you're working that muscle of listening and recognizing things that they've just learned. Those are some of our ideas. And so specifically with beginners, these are our tips, our hot tips, pre-teaching the vocab from the video, because if you play something for someone who has no context, has never heard any of these words, it's just going to sound like blah, 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 blah. So obviously with kids, this is really important, like having them do some repetition, having them repeating it after you, getting it in their mouth, and then you're playing it and they're listening and they're making that connection between the words. Have it clear what you want your objective to be, whether it's like recognizing words that they're hearing or being able to form, a sentence in a certain way with a certain person or a certain pronoun, whatever it may be. Don't try to, because like I feel like what can happen is you start noticing like all these other things that you want to explain, and it can get really complicated really fast. And then freeze frames. Freeze frames, I think it's really helpful. Like when you're playing a video, I would frequently just freeze it and then be like, what did they say? And just have them say it back to me, like listening something and then having your mind unscramble it and say it is really great. Or like, what did he want? Where is she going? Like, what's going to happen now? You can, for a little more advanced students, you can say, what do you think is going to happen? Right? Are they going to be successful? How are they feeling about this adventure? So sort of predicting what's going to happen, or kind of getting them invested, almost like a TV series, is a great way to use videos.
Yeah. And that like breaks up the listening, because sometimes you can tune out if you're, and then, I mean, when I try to listen to like a Spanish podcast, I easily tune out after like a few minutes. So it's nice to like break it up and also get them participating actively. So it's not just a passive, like, oh, we put on a video or whatever.
That engagement. Okay, so we talked about, we have some videos that are more beginner friendly. Most of our videos are for intermediate learners who are trying to kind of know the basics or trying to get to that next level. They're looking for more advanced vocabulary, more idioms, more phrasal verbs, stuff to make them sound more natural. They want to start communicating and expressing their personality, which is like a huge step in another language. And so one of our really fun series that we've developed recently is this character called Miss Biggles.
So Miss Biggles, Xavier, are you familiar with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? It's a children's show.
Oh
In
yeah,
the
Mr.
60s,
Rogers.
70s.
I mean, I watched it as a kid. It spanned decades. I think it was in the US. It was funded. It was like on national public TV, whatever station. PBS, yeah,
I
public.
heard about it, but I haven't watched it.
Okay. But it was like this older gentleman who like welcomed you into his home, and you just felt like he was babysitting you, and he always did the same thing every day. And then he like visited magical lands and like, but also showed you how the post office worked. So he was sort of everybody's uncle. So that's our homage to Mr. Rogers is Miss Biggles. And she
has a variety of guests.
Yeah.
So this one is teaching emotion words, but kind of the intermediate level. So if you're a beginner, you learn sad, happy, tired. And this is trying to teach, there's kind of a spectrum. There's like a mild emotion to the extreme emotion. And it's trying to teach it in a fun way. So these different characters come in and they have a very obvious emotion. So this person is extremely furious,
extreme anger.
She's irate. So we teach all those fun, stronger, milder words for
more
emotion.
Expressive words. Yeah. So let's take a look.
Doing on a Tabitha.
Okay, the sound is questionable.
The sound is very, very spotty.
Also, the quality is not looking great.
Wait,
They
so
do
the
look a lot.
sound- The sound is spotty on your end also?
Yeah.
This one
Oh, okay,
is
got
not.
it, got it. Okay.
But you can see right off the bat, we've got 4 synonyms for very angry. So you've got your different vocabulary choices, and the scene goes on. She explains why she's feeling that way, and then we have 2 really common phrases. To blow a gasket is another way to express like when you're just like so angry you're going to explode. Steam coming out of your ears. And then we also introduce the concept of venting, which is that when you talk to somebody and you get all of that anguish out. So those are all more advanced, sort of more interesting ways to express yourself instead of just saying like, I'm very angry today.
Yeah.
Would you say that there is any age restrictions to watching those videos, or are they made for all kids of all age?
Yeah, now my nieces and nephew are obsessed with them. They watch all of them. So whenever we're filming them, I'm making sure they're they're G-rated.
And how old are your nieces and nephews, Eric?
They are between 4 and
Okay.
10.
Yeah, that's also the
Um,
feeling I got from watching several of them, that there's no age restrictions. Yeah.
Yeah.
No age. I mean, they're not on YouTube as like, they're not on like for kids. So they're not going to pop up necessarily if kids are browsing.
Yeah.
But kids
You're
have been known
huge.
to enjoy.
Yeah, and we don't put anything explicit, like there's no swearing, there's no
Yeah,
adult content.
yeah, that's,
Yeah.
that's great.
Some of them wouldn't be interesting. Like you have one about
Right.
taxes, like
Yeah.
doing your taxes in English.
Yeah.
You never
Your
know.
health insurance.
You never know with kids. Sometimes they get interested in weird topics like
That's
taxes.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite movie when I was 10 was Hello Dolly. So you never know. You never
Which is
know.
what? It's a story about what?
My favorite movie when I was 10 was Hello Dolly, which is an old musical with Barbara Streisand and Walter Matthau. It's like
Okay, yeah.
it's like for old people. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. When I was, I think, 3 years old, I was obsessed with the opera, The Enchanted Flute, and I would watch it in loop again and again and again.
Wow.
Wow.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
You never know.
Amazing.
There might be some little accountant out there
Yeah.
just
Such refined
Exactly.
taste.
into taxes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Searching for your taxes video. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So again, some more tips for using videos with intermediate learners. You can play the video through once, and then play it again with kind of some objectives, right? Like you're going to stop, you're going to ask questions, answer any questions that people have. But that one time through is kind of nice to like give your students a chance to like see what they understand without you meddling. And then the second time through, that's when you sort of go a little bit deeper.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, or you give them an objective, like this time through, listen,
Think
for,
about, yeah,
or write down.
yeah, exactly.
But it's hard the first time through to then also give them like a task they have to do.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, yeah, after watching a video, you can provide questions that they have to discuss with a partner or group, like things they have to share about their own lives or things they have to answer about the video, what happened, why did it happen? Have students act out or role play. I love role plays. So they can take on vocabulary, maybe be characters from the video, sort of create their own scene or their own spin-off, or, you know, imagine one of these characters when they're at home, like, what are they like? Use these phrases. So that can be really creative. Depends on your group, obviously. And if you're online, I think that's probably a little more challenging, but I've done it online. I've done it with adults online, having them do just a little bit of role play. And obviously a worksheet or a game related to the video content to sort of just drill in those words, those new words.
And sorry, I'm interrupting. There's a comment on Facebook from Emily who says, I watched your video yesterday and how fun. I have parents of ESL students that ask me for lessons and I will share these videos with them. They will love it.
Awesome.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. And we have stuff for parents and the kids. So we got going to the doctor, injuries.
Yeah.
What American parents say to their children.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely, I mean, I taught adult learners when I lived in Colorado. And so listening to the things, you know, they had to go to teacher conferences. They had to talk to other parents who are native English speakers. Like they're navigating this whole world. So they're always in my mind, like what would be useful for them. So yeah, I think it's a great resource.
Yeah.
I hope.
And you know, and for the students.
And for the kids, yeah.
Okay, so moving right along.
Sorry, I have a question that just pops into my head. Are you also on Bilibili or just on YouTube?
We are on Bilibili.
Yeah. Are we?
Yeah, I've lived in China for a total of 2.5 years. My Chinese is rusty, but I have a good friend here in Valencia who's Chinese, and she has a successful yoga channel, and she's on YouTube and Bilibili. And so she helped me get an account on Bilibili, which is really hard if you're not Chinese. You have to answer all these questions in Chinese. But yeah, we get,
We're huge in China.
we're huge in
Yeah,
China.
we're just,
yeah, so
Are
we put all our videos on Bilibili as well. And people are really nice and friendly on there.
yeah, very supportive.
Not surprised. Yeah, if you can share the link with me afterwards, I'll put it in the post so that people can find
Yeah,
your Billy as well. Because obviously, for the teachers who work with kids in China, there's no YouTube access in China. So, yeah. So all your every video that you post on YouTube is also available on your Bilibili.
Not all of them, but definitely all the past one, like from the past year plus.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the older ones. I just haven't gotten around putting them up, but I think there's like 50 or 60 up on Bilibili.
Amazing. Awesome.
Well spotted. Yeah, so another type of learner that we come across a lot, especially in Spain, where we live, is people who are trying to improve their conversational level. And they want to be able to, like I said, express their personality, not be boring, not be sort of boxed in by their vocabulary limitations. They want to be able to, like, you know, say interjections and express their surprise and their, you know, their feelings. So we have a lot of videos about this with natural kind of conversations. And we sort of like highlight, you know, use this, like, this is how you use this phrase. This is what you can talk about. These are examples.
Yeah, and this is great. A lot of people in Spain, you know, they like to travel. And if you travel outside of Spain and Europe, you're going to be using English. And they want to talk to people. They want to be funny. They want to make sense. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the reasons we make these ones.
Yeah. So this is a great example because this video is about a conversation that happens between two people, they're exes. Again, nothing adult rated. They're just exes. They used to be together and it's like they're seeing each other for the first time. So they're catching up. And we go through different phrases, like both of the characters are thinking through what they could say. And then we show what they actually do say. So it's like a lot of like different alternatives for things you could say in this situation, and then what they decide to say. Let's see if we can hear it.
So Rachel,
Oh, geez, it's my ex Brian.
oh, what do I say?
What do I say?
Baby, do you remember me? Oh, of course she remembers me. We dated for 3 years.
Maybe, hi, have we met? Like I don't know him? No, that's mean.
What about just like, Rachel, is that you? Yeah, okay, yeah, perfect.
I'll just say, it's been ages because it has been a long time.
Hey, Rachel, is that you?
Yeah, Brian, what a coincidence.
Yeah,
It's been ages.
it really has.
So a situation that's awkward in any language.
I feel awkwardness. You're really transcribing it really well. I feel it. Really
Great.
good.
Acting. Yeah, so these are helpful. I mean, especially if you have kids who, you know, I mean, maybe not this particular video because, you know, maybe you don't want to go there with talking about exes and whatever, but especially if you have kids who have a high level of comprehension, you want to kind of challenge them and try to get them to be thinking about sequencing. You can do a story scramble where you give them the events that happen in the video, have them put them in order. You can use the situations to sort of as a jumping off point for conversations, like, when has this ever happened to you? You know, tell me about a time when you blah, blah, blah. And then of course, students getting creative, creating their own dialogue using the phrases from the video.
I do this with, I have a 12-year-old student who loves, like, I think those like the tween years can be hard to teach because like you don't want to do little kiddish stuff, but they're not adults yet. And so I just find it challenging, like finding material for them. But this student, she loves doing stuff like this. Like, I think the middle school years, you're all about like social, you know, like conversation, being social, like learning cool phrases. And so
Yeah,
whenever we do these role plays, like, okay, you're this person, I'm this person, and these are the key phrases, like she just loves it every single time. So
that's a great tip. I'm going to steal that tip.
do it.
Okay, so Another, hey, you want to talk, I'm talking a lot.
Yeah, okay. Specific situations. So again, we talked about like taxes, navigating healthcare in, well, our video is about the US. Xavier, you probably have stories about that moving to the US. So just situations like hiring a plumber. And these tend to be more for adults, like getting your nails done, getting a haircut, and just, yeah, just the specific vocab you need. And also I think a lot of people who watch these are, you know, they're in that line of work, like maybe they're a plumber or they're a nail technician and they're like, thank you for this video. Yeah, so, and they're fun and it's real life.
Yeah, I think we get a lot of traffic from people who are like one of my current students like found us through our nail video. She was like, I wanted to get a manicure, I didn't know what to say, I found your video. So yeah, and here we have an example of a really practical one about going to the doctor.
Actually, since I'm here, could you look at my foot? I sprained it a month ago and it was getting better, but just this week the pain flared up again.
Can you describe the pain? Is it a sharp pain or is it kind of dull and aching?
Dull and aching.
Okay. And is it intermittent, so it comes and goes, or is it constant pain?
Intermittent pain.
Yeah, and I think us as living in a foreign country, living in Spain, it's easy to come up with these because it's like, I go to the doctor, I have to describe what's going on. And I'm like, well, I would love if this video was out there in Spanish.
I resonate with that a lot. Describing pain and explaining things like this you don't learn this at school, actually, with that level of precision. There's one other thing that I would like. I don't know if you're taking video requests, but I'm very lost with the different
Yes, absolutely.
different species of fish. I'm very, very lost. So
Like fish you eat or just like in general fish?
yeah, I still, like, after 12 years in the US, I'm still not able to know what fish in English is what fish in French. But anyway, this is probably
That's so
not,
fair.
this is not a hair on problem for a lot of people, but I just wanted to put it out there.
I have that problem in Spanish.
I have the same
Yeah.
problem, and like someone will be like, oh, do you like this kind of fish in Spanish? I'll be like, I don't know, do I? Relatable. Okay, thank you for that request. We love requests. Yeah, if anyone in the audience has requests, they like, I'm missing this video for this unit that I do, or I have a student who just can't grasp this concept or whatever, please tell us. Please tell
Always
us.
taking requests.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so conversational videos, they're really great for a flipped classroom. I think people are probably familiar with what that is, but a flipped classroom is you're sending content to be looked at and examined at home outside of class, and then you can skip directly to more of a investigation, examination of that content, reviewing and putting it to use immediately when you get into the classroom.
Yeah, that's nice. Especially, I mean, some students, they're going to need the video once and they're good. Some are going to need to watch it 3 times or slow down the speed.
Yeah.
So they can kind of absorb that new information in a comfortable place in their home. And then you're using the class time, kind of guiding them through either practicing or doing a project, or, you're working with the new material, but you're not spending the time like standing up there, like feeding them information.
Yeah. Just sort of skips a step. So again, they're great for conversation starters. This would probably be more for adult students, but talking about cultural differences, how is it done in your country? What were your experiences when you first got here? What are some challenges you're facing in relation to these, specific videos that we've made? So I think a lot of them are very relatable to people. And then they're just they're helpful to recommend to students. Like if someone, like one of our by far most successful video is about going to the dentist. So, I think a lot of people are just like I'm going to the dentist. English is not my first language. what do I need to know? And people have found that video, and I think it just sort of makes them, makes them feel more prepared for that moment where they don't, they're not going to be able to be translating on their phone the whole time because they're literally in the dentist chair with things in their mouth. So they're good to sort of show people like, oh, you're preparing for what's another one that we have? Yeah, you need to hire a babysitter. Here, watch this video.
Do you have access to demographic information about your audience? Is it people who immigrate from Mexico, from China, from Europe like me to the US and who are a little bit lost?
Yeah, I mean, it's always changing. It's amazing how much data YouTube has. I'm not sure how much Bilibili tells you, but yeah, I think right now our biggest chunk of viewers comes from the US, right? And then followed by what, Canada? Or India?
Yeah, it's either Canada or that we do have some followers in Spain.
Yeah, we do. Of course.
That friends that we abuse. No, we don't know exactly what nationality people are. We just know where they're watching from. But the fact that we have so many viewers in the US, which is a vastly English speaking country, makes us pretty confident that a lot of people are, learning English, they're living there, and they're using our videos for those purposes.
Yep, absolutely.
A lot of people in India too.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last kind of video we wanted to talk about was pronunciation. There's a lot of people in the pronunciation game, not gonna lie. A lot of people doing a lot of videos saying words, and they do it really well. They're very clear. They're really into the phonetics of everything. We kind of approach it like from a little more fun angle usually. But we do have some really hard hitting, like, what are they called? The
minimal pairs?
Yeah, minimal pairs.
Okay. Yeah, we have some minimal pair ones. So we're just like saying words that change one sound only. So like bear, beer, because those, especially the English vowel sounds, are really hard for people. And then we have some other fun ones, like we have the French word pronunciation, which Xavier is a fan of. So English has a lot of French words, but we pronounce them totally differently. And then ones just, some of them are teaching rules that I think are really useful, like the ED ending sounds. Like there's rules for knowing how to pronounce that, and everyone should know it. So try to keep them practical.
But we by no means, like, that's not our main focus. But anyways, when we do a pronunciation video, we try to, again, use the word in context, and make it a little more fun, a little more visually appealing. So here's one example that Xavier specifically mentioned when he has spoken with us.
Yes, I love that. I love that silhouette. Silhouette, like many French words, has a lot of letters that aren't pronounced. We can break this word into 3 syllables. Sil-o-et. Silhouette. Okay, great. All right, let's add a rap. That will really make this silhouette interesting. Excellent. You're fat.
Okay. Hope you liked our stereotypical French outfit.
How much fun is it to shoot those videos?
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's fun. And it's work. But yeah, we have a good time. I think every time. Yeah, at least when we're filming. Sometimes the editing phase gets tedious.
For sure.
But that's normal.
Yeah, if we crack each other up, that's a good sign.
Okay, so just some notes on the pronunciation video. So in general, pronunciation is kind of an individual thing. Some people need to work on certain things, some people don't. So if your student does have difficulty with it, you could refer that, you could send the video to them. If they're in a group, you could do it together if it's an individual class. Practice out loud. Sometimes I have my students record themselves, more to hear themselves than anything. So you can kind of follow it up with different tasks, where they're really, you're trying to work their ear, because some people listen more than others, and usually pronunciation problems, it's a problem of listening more than anything. And then, yeah, practice minimal pairs, ED past tense endings. I've talked about those, other concrete rules that
Yeah.
are helpful.
I find that if there is a rule, like the rule with the ED endings, for example, it's just help, like that can help people, because like they don't know, like they're seeing a word and they don't know if it's like how, if it's d or ed. So if you explain like, okay, the words kind of fall into these three categories, like this is how you can tell, that can be really helpful. Followed up by obviously repetition and
Yeah, and as a native speaker, like I never knew that rule.
No, I
Like,
had
why
no
would I know
idea.
that rule? So I think a lot of teachers out there also like
Yeah.
don't realize like, oh, this could help their student.
yeah. If I have to hear another student say, I took it to my mom. So that's the rundown of our what we have to offer. And yeah, as we said, we're very open to new ideas, requests. They're not specifically made for kids. However, kids do like them. They do enjoy them. We are pretty silly, and so that part is also fun. Case in point,
Video.
the Halloween video that we released today actually is quite ridiculous. So,
Fresh off the press.
yeah.
Yes.
Can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. What's that?
I can't wait to watch it.
Good.
Use it to relax tonight after work.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so thank you so much for having us. If you have any questions, Xavier, or if your teachers have questions, we'd love to answer.
Yeah. So I mean, I personally think it's really brilliant. I'm not teaching English right now. I'm teaching French. I wish there was the French version of you that existed, because I think this is brilliant. It makes classes really interesting, and you can have a laugh together, and it can be a good segue to role playing. And I personally learned English by watching the TV show Friends. So I think there's a lot of power in getting attached to characters and going through their stories, etc. And this is exactly what you two achieve. So thank you so much for this. There's not a lot of people watching the live right now, but I know there was a lot of interest. So this is going to be on our YouTube channel. And how can people reach you if they want to contact you?
Yep. So we have our website right there, breatheenglish.com.
Yep.
On there, I mean, we have our contact info. We're also on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok. So it should all just be Breathe English. It'll pop up right at the top.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. If you go to our website, we have a form. But that's I don't even, that's not
Our
the
email's
best
on
way.
there too.
Yeah. I think email is a great way.
So I'm Erica at breatheenglish.com.
Yeah.
So Erica with a C at breatheenglish.com if you want to email us.
And on Instagram, obviously you can send a message directly. And on Instagram, we have a lot more teaching accounts that follow us. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, YouTube, there isn't really a direct message option. I mean, there are ways, there's like many ways to contact us.
Yeah. Also in the description of all our videos on YouTube, there's our contact info.
Yeah.
Nice. But anyway, for any teacher out there who teach ESL, whether they use Koalago or any other platform, I think this is a fantastic resource. And thank you so much for creating this great content. This is it will at least put a smile on your face when you watch those videos. I can guarantee that.
Thank you for saying that.
Can we put that on our website?
Yeah.
You're saying that.
Yeah. And do you have the blooper video? Are you recording that? Videos where you failed takes, where you crack up.
Oh, yeah.
You end up bursting
We
laughing.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've made shorts. So when I'm editing a video, a lot of times I'll pull just funny things and make like a Instagram, TikTok short, which are goofy, fun to see.
We'll send you a few.
Yeah, I would love them.
There's some good ones. Well, thank you so much for having us. And thank you, Lisa, for letting us use your work, your beautiful playground that you created. We're so impressed.
Yeah, that's
That
coming
video,
soon.
it'll be out in about a month.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah,
Lisa,
but-
your
Is
world.
it a secret?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not a secret. I think we can mention it that Sam and Erica are working on the little video in playground, a little adventure in playground, right?
Yeah.
We
Mhm,
are.
mhm.
Very excited to see it. Thank you so much, Sam and Erica. It was really great to have you.
Yes, thank you.
Pleasure was ours.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.